Man, one of them black guys took me to the side. He said,
Oh, that's funny.
"What's you crazy? That's not a Klansman is." That Darrell is a Klansman.
Wow.
I said, "Oh, what?" He said, "A Klansman."
Say a what?
Run my hand with the shaker like, oh. But I got him up there and I talked to him. But me and him had got close, And he told me, he said, "Ruth," he said, at night, he said, if you ever get caught on Highway 90, he said, tell them that you know Calvin. He said, because they will hang you. No lie. He said, don't come down 90. He showed me on the map in certain places. Do not get out your car. He said, they will hang you. Think you know what they say, they still shoot. Excuse me, they did. What would he say?
Hey, that was in my last day talking to Calvin. And on 90.
I worked on 90. That's why I worked. I worked at Richmond Takeoff. And I worked there. But it was further down in there where he lived. They lived in like a cult. Well, they didn't even have to come out. They had everything they wanted. But they were still hanging. I said, "Shit, I won't go back that way." Now you go through there and go all the way to Humble and go all the way to Livingston and come all the way to that I'll try.
See,
I still don't do it. He said, "No."
they go back to farming. So they had a whole self-sustaining community.
That's what he said. That's what he said. He said, "We don't have to come back for nothing. We teach our children to hunt." And that's all he said. I said to myself, "Wow." You know, Lord, you're back on. And I know those people say too much to them, they go around, But he was sitting right out in the middle. We were sitting right out in the middle of the same thing. Man, I was like, they finally moved it. I'm sure glad to. But he taught me a lot. I never went down 90. I still don't go down 90. You think I still go down? Shit, I'll go down 90. Outside, run on back road. I ain't back around the road. Because he said, as long as you live, he said, we'll still be there. He said, never take your eyes off of bread. And that's what he told me. And I believe him too, so I don't. And they still around. That's why you saw them backs hanging in trees. And that let you know that they still here. I said, "No, thank you." They were laughing, I was crying. Because it's reality.
Yep. And as we just said, it's still America.
And show you with that black police that broke in that house and arrested and killed them, people got killed. Now that white police did the same thing with the boys, and he just disappeared. But the black police got time in jail. How much you get? Time in jail, so many years or whatever in jail. But the white people police walk away. They send up to a little town. No, it's still here.
And now their kids running it. And now their kids are running it. Yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. For those that don't know, that haven't seen this before, every Thursday morning we have what we call Thursday morning breakfast, where we bring together private and public sector subject matter experts to talk about different things that they're doing in the community as relates to moving the community forward. There's a lot of good that goes on in the greater Houston area, but for whatever reason, those that need that good to be done in their lives, they don't always get that information. So we want to make sure that we are the bridge between the good that's going on and the people that need that good to be done in their lives. We get out into the community at least 3 Saturdays out of every month for our own personal reasons. And we want to take the good that we learn about here to the people. I'm actively working on what I'm calling a community benefits package because I want to make sure that as we're talking to people in the community, we can leave them with some information that's going to help make their lives better. We don't understand as a people, as a community, as a grassroots group, we don't understand the importance of politics. We are not as actively engaged in politics on any level as we should be. And the one legal thing we have to create the kind of change that we need is our vote. We don't understand that everything that affects your life is political. Everything that we've been through since we've been here, since we were kidnapped and brought here, all of that stuff became public policy. What does that mean? That means that somebody had an idea, somebody created an agenda, somebody voted on that agenda, and it became the law. Everything that we've gone through and everything that we are going through has been public policy. a lot of our people, a lot of poor people, a lot of grassroots people, no matter where you go in this country, they're not politically engaged because they think it doesn't work. And I try to remind people if politics wasn't important, if your vote didn't matter, then they wouldn't try to impede that vote every single election. Every election that comes up, they're trying to make it harder for people to vote because that vote matters. So we want to make sure that as a community, we are vetting those persons that say they want to represent us. We want to ask them the hard questions. We want to invite them to come out to speak. And that's what we're doing here at Thursday Morning Breakfast. Again, we do this every Thursday morning. And it's not just to bring out persons who are running for office, but it's people who have nonprofits, people who work for the city, people who have things that are going on, again, that can help the community. And this morning, we're going to have a young man speak who has a pretty awesome background as it relates to service. And he's running for a Harris County District Clerk. I will admit to you, I'm not exactly sure what that office does, but before this morning, I will most certainly know. And he wants to make sure that we can make Harris County better. That's not an easy task. There's a lot of things that we have issues with as it relates to Harris County. But we can most certainly create the kind of change that we need if we got the right people in leadership, if we hold those persons accountable, and if we do not make the mistake of voting for them just because they look like us. Because oftentimes people that look like us, who are in office, don't represent us, they got another agenda.
Right.
So we have to fault ourselves because we elect them to be in that position. So whenever we have someone who's brave enough to run, we want to make sure that we embrace them with love and respect, but we ask them the hard questions. So we're going to bring on our speaker this morning, Brother Darrell Jordan, who's running for Harris County District Clerk. And he's going to let us know not only why that position is important, but more importantly, why he's running and why we should vote for him. All right, but the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for having me this morning. I'll start by explaining exactly what the district clerk's office does. District clerk's office is the lifeblood of the justice system. So, all right, so that means like if no blood is going to my left arm, it doesn't work. No blood going to my foot, it stops working. And that's how the clerk's office works. No matter what kind of case it is, probate, district court, civil court, criminal court, family, you trying to get your child support. You go to the counter, you file your paper with the clerk's office, right? And then when the judge gets on the bench, he types on the computer, the files are there. When the lawyers go to court, the files are there. And so without the district clerk's office, or when the district clerk's office doesn't work, the entire justice system shuts down. If there's a person who has assaulted their wife, allegedly, and then they go to court and they get a protection order, then the clerks enter that information in, somebody gets pulled over, and the wife is in distress. She looks like she's in distress, and the man is sitting there, hands on the steering wheel. The cop goes back, runs the record, he sees a protection order that says, hey, this person has allegedly assaulted this person, and they shouldn't be together. So that's kind of ABC's 1, 2, 3s of what the clerk's office does. Another important part of the clerk's office is jury service. Right now, African Americans aren't represented in the numbers that they should in jury service. Latinos aren't represented at the numbers they should, and people under 50. Right now, the people who show up to jury duty, the majority of them are over 50 and white. And we all know it's very important to have representation no matter what room you're in, but especially when your freedom is on the line, or when you're in court for a bad accident or somebody, any type of civil case. It's just important to have representation so people can be there that have a life experience or who can understand your life experience. You know, there's the beauty of Houston, you can go find you a house to live in for $70,000, $80,000 that's about to fall over, or you can go find you a house for $5 or $6 million to move in. And those people have different life experiences, different understandings of what life is like, the different struggles that people have that they're going through. And so that's why the diversity in the jury system is necessary. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background. I moved to Houston in 1999. I attended Thurgood Marshall School of Law. After that, I went to work for Representative Hubert Vo as a policy analyst in the 79th legislative session. I came back in the 80th legislative session and worked for Senator Rodney Ellis, now Commissioner Rodney Ellis. After that, I went into private practice. And that is when I began interacting with the clerk's office. I've been a lawyer now for almost 20 years. So for almost 20 years, I've dealt with the clerk's office as a lawyer. And then time passed, I served as a judge for 8 years. Every day, like I said, I would go log on to my computer. I had 2 clerks who sat to my left, and every day I interacted with the clerk's office. And so I know what it's like to use the clerk's office as a judge. I know what it's like to use the clerk's office as an attorney. And I've also reported to jury service. So I know what it's like to interact with the clerk's office as a juror. And so when I was a judge, one of the most important things I did was bail reform. We used to have a system in Harris County that was deemed unconstitutional by Judge Lee Rosenthal, who's a federal court judge. And what she said was that misdemeanor court judges were using bail improperly. So that meant if you came late for court, the judge would punish you and say, I'm going to triple your bond because you're late. Sometimes on trial day, the judge would try to lock you up on trial day because they didn't want to go to trial. So they'd be like, well, if you want to reset, then you're going to have to go into custody. Wow. You're going to have to go into custody. But if you plead today, then, you know, your case will be over with. So illegal? Yep. Yeah. That was part of the unconstitutional. Wow. That was part of the unconstitutionality of what was going on in Harris County. Okay. And nobody was saying anything about it. Nobody was doing anything about it. Yeah. And then so this group came and sued Harris County. And when I got on the bench, within 2 months, I was testifying in court against my 15 co-workers. Right. And people say, oh, that took a lot of courage. And I was like, well, none of them wanted to fight me and they were my friends. So, I mean, all I did was keep doing what I was doing. Right. But I got up there and told the truth on what was happening in our court system. And from there, more people, the sheriff joined in at the time, DA Kim Ogg, she was on the team. She fell off shortly after and flipped on myself and the sheriff and the whole system. But we had to continue to fight. And as we kept making progress and ensuring that people weren't in jail just because they were poor. And I'm gonna give you an example. Say I'm a student at Texas Southern, I have money, but my parents didn't give me a car. And then I have a buddy who's broke who has a car. And he says, I'm going to Walmart to get some more groceries or whatever. I said, okay, cool. Can I ride with you? I don't have a car. And then I show up in Walmart and I start stealing video games. Meanwhile, he's over there shopping, getting groceries. So then we meet up at the cash register. I have the games hidden in my jacket and we all walk through the register together. And they've been watching me the whole time. What's going to happen is we're both going to get arrested. Yep. Under the law of parties. Both. Because they're going to assume that when I was stealing and when we walked out together, that he knew what I was doing. Right. And so now me, the guilty party, when we get down to the jail and they give me a $2,000 bond, I just called my parents and they bond me out because we got money. Yeah. Now my buddy who was poor, who was simply in there getting some food to eat, some Hot Pockets, whatever I used to eat back in college, you know, he just trying to live his life. His car gets towed. He goes and sits in jail. They gave him a bond of $2,000. He doesn't have any money to get out. And so I go home and I'm guilty. I get the bond out and go home. And he stays in jail. Each day he's in jail, what happens to the tow fees on the car? They're going up every day. Yes, sir. They're going up. And let's just make it even worse. Let's just say this happened on a weekend, and then that Monday started exam week. Where am I that Monday? I'm back in class taking my exams. Yes, where is he? He's sitting in jail. So then you get your court-appointed lawyer. The court-appointed lawyer says, well, what happened? They say, well, Darrell went over there and he was stealing video games. I didn't have any idea. I was buying food. And he says, okay, where did this happen? Walmart. Okay, great. Walmart has video cameras everywhere. Right. So we'll be able to get the cameras and get your case dismissed. And the guy was like, okay, I have exams today. When will we get the video? Oh, it may take 2 to 3 months for us to get the video. Or you can plead guilty today and go home. What is the average person going to do? Plead guilty because not only school, but his car. And if he was working, making a little money, he has rent to pay. You know, so it was a system that was basically forcing guilty pleas. Right. Yeah. And then the data showed that people who got released from jail were getting lower sentences and a higher rate of getting their cases dismissed. And they have a program called pretrial diversion at the district attorney's office. And so if you go get a clean drug test, show that you're in school or you working, and it's your first offense, your case can be dismissed. You just stay out of trouble for 90 days, 6 months, whatever they tell you. Sometimes it's just gonna take an anti-theft class. So it was a system literally that was allowing people who were truly guilty to walk away scot-free because of their resources, and where people who lacked resources, they stayed in jail simply because they didn't have resources, right? And so that system was called the model for the country in doing bail. So what would happen is if somebody was stealing at Walmart, they would be arrested, they would come down, they would be processed in the Joint Processing Center, and then they would be released and say, come back to court on XYZ day. And the system has proved to be effective. It has saved the county millions of dollars. If you don't know, the county has probably spent in the last year or so $30+ million sending people to Mississippi and other jails all around this little region, right? Because the Harris County jail is packed and it's stressed, right? So they had to find solutions. And so imagine if all the people who were arrested in the 16 misdemeanor courts were still being packed in jail. That's more of our tax dollars going to house them in other places. And then the research, every year, they have to report back to the federal court judge, how is this bail system working, right? Because we're under a consent decree. And so every time they go back to report, they say this system has saved the county millions of dollars. It's lowered recidivism. Because again, if you take that broke person and you put them in jail for a month or two, and they were already struggling before they got there, now they come out. I mean, they got to resort to hustling, doing whatever they can.
They gotta eat,
Right. They don't have anywhere to sleep, no way to eat. And so that's my proudest accomplishment. But not only that, when the 15 Republicans lost and it was just me and we got 50, that was when the 19 happened and we had like all Democrat judges, they voted me to be the head administrative judge. And so here I am, the head administrator for one of the largest criminal justice systems in America, right? And I'd be like, well, what about New York? Well, New York is, I won't say they're smarter, but they split their system up, you know, into different boroughs and different areas. In Harris County, you can be 50 miles from here and still be in Harris County. You still come downtown to the Harris County courthouse and handle your business, right? And so ours is all consolidated into one space. And so that's why I say this is the largest one in America. And so the millions of dollars that are saved, the lowering of the crime rate, you know, all that stuff was done under my watch. And then we set up managed assigned counsel. Other judges have been trying to do this for like 6 years, if not longer. And what this system does, say you all are the judges, right? And I'm a lawyer and I want to get a court appointed case. And that's how I feed my family because you keep giving me cases. Am I likely to come in there and cause a ruckus, flip over the tables and say, no, y'all doing my client wrong?
Nope.
I just bought a new car.
That's right.
School about to start. My kids need school clothes.
That's right.
Right? So, you know, we just felt it was an inherent conflict for the judges to be assigning people cases and making sure they're making money. So we put that in a third party, and that's the managed assigned counsel. And now that office has been up and running now for 3 or 4 years. And we just got a new director and she's doing a great job. And that's what we should be trying to do when we go into spaces. When you get elected into office, if the only thing you do is take the baton from the person who gave it to you and keep going, then how are you different?
Right.
And in some cases I say baton, some cases I say a whip.
Oh.
Right? If only thing you're going to do is continue what the person that was doing before you, why did you run for office?
That's right.
If you've been in office and you can't cite anything that you've ever done to change things and make things better, why are you there?
Why are you there?
Right? And so it's like, there's people who have been working in the district clerk's office for years. and they know that there's a leak on the third floor in the right corner by the window. And every day they show up and go to work, see that leak, and don't do anything about it.
Right.
And so the first 6 months that I was the head judge, we changed everything. Everything that we knew that we could do, we did it. Because people, you can't get time back. You can't get time back.
That's right.
So when we're in an unjust system and people are being locked up unjustly, and we are the judges, we are the gatekeepers, aren't we duty bound to fix it?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And so now let's
Should
let's transition over to the clerk's office.
Let's go back to the judge.
Oh, you want to go back? What's the question? Go ahead.
Now, my grandson, 8 years ago, both of them. Now, one of them I do know, the other one I don't know, but the one that's with me, he was forced to take either 30 years. He was forced to take 30 years.
Can you speak of this?
He was forced to take 30 years. Okay, either he told him that he would probably get life in 1 day. So we were forced to take those 30 years. And that's what they're doing in the VA's office. They're forcing people to take time to keep them from going to court.
And let me ask you a question. Did he have a high lawyer or court-appointed lawyer?
A court.
And look, there's some good court-appointed lawyers, but there's also, there's one guy down there who still takes appointments, who's known as the worst lawyer in America.
Wow.
That's what newspapers call him.
Wow.
Go home and Google it. Harris County, worst lawyer in America. And he does death penalty cases, all kinds, like the most serious cases, right? But when you're advising a client, one, no client should be surprised. They should know each time you go to court what the progress is and how things are going. I used to tell my clients, whether we go from A to D or A to Z, you will never be surprised on what's going on or what's going to happen, because I'm going to keep you abreast of what's going on. But when you have people, again, that are working for the judges, right? And, their job, I don't know why, but people care about how many cases are you moving, right? And there should be no time frame or no pressure. It's not a cog system where you have certain numbers you got to hit. It should just be about justice, right? But when you have those systems, those high pressure systems, and you're making money, and you want to keep your money going, because there's some lawyers who spend, like right now, I'm kind of like in trial mode as I'm on the campaign trail. I'll wake up and write down ideas. And when I was in trial, or I had a trial coming up, it's basically you are buying my brain. And at night I wake up, I'm like, oh, this is a good idea. This is a good idea. But if you don't care about your clients, if they're not paying you, and all these other things, that factors in. And so you just go in there and you don't have any care or passion about what you're doing. You're like, hey, they offering you 30 years, or you can go and they're gonna give you life. What would anybody say?
Right.
Hey, man, how can I get to 30?
Ms. Ruth, was that a plea bargain kind of situation where they said if you plea bargain, you won't get this time, and if you do, you might? How did it come that was his only option?
Yeah, when we went to court, he just said that either you take the 30 years, and he said, I don't want 30 years, I'm gonna go to trial. He said, if you go to trial, they're gonna give you a life plus 1 day, and you'll never get out of jail.
So Brother Darrell, is that a situation whereby it has to be where his court-appointed lawyer, maybe
saw at court dates anyway, we couldn't get in touch with him.
Maybe wasn't suitable. I mean, it wasn't Johnny Cochran. So what can, and I know it's a hard question, everything goes back to the dollar, but what can communities in need, oftentimes our communities, what can we do to ensure that when we find ourselves in a situation where we got to go to court and we might do some serious time, how can we get better representation when everything goes back to the dollar and we don't have a lot of money like that?
And look, this is probably why they ran me out the courthouse. Because I just tell the truth, right? It's not my business. This is the people's business. This is our business. Those lawyers are down there because the judges are keeping them down there.
So it's a judge issue.
Yeah, it's a judge issue. It's the judge issue.
Okay.
Point blank, period, as my mama used to say.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And so it don't matter how many turkeys you give away, that you got the Tamia dance mastered. what are you doing in your job
Right.
that you were elected to do?
Right.
If I'm head dog catching, all you ever see me doing is passing out waters and turkeys, but you see pit bulls when you try to go check the mail, you should be asking, what is Darrell doing?
Right.
Why do we have all this stuff over here? And so the judges 100% control who's getting those cases.
So one of my questions, and I'm going to ask you now because of what Ms. Ruth said and what you're saying now. One of my questions is how can we do a better job of reforming the criminal justice system? And what I'm hearing you say as it relates to that question is, we, again, as a community, we have to know who we're voting for, and we got to make sure that we're electing judges that are going to do right by the people.
Right. It's so just like, and I'm gonna get to the criminal justice, I'm gonna use a loop. Just like if you work at the district clerk's office and you say you're gonna do all this change, you should be able to come down and lay out what you've already done.
Track record.
You should have a track record.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to ask the people who are running for office what you gonna do.
Yeah.
Show us what you've done.
What have you done, right?
And that's it.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Because what Mike Tyson say, everybody has a plan
to get punched in the mouth
until you get punched in the mouth.
Yes, sir.
Just like my little sister was excited when she got her management job, then people started bringing her petty issues. She was like, I don't want to deal with this.
Right.
I didn't know what I was signing up for.
Yes, sir.
And so, part of my background, I deployed overseas, worked at the division level, in the military at the division level. That's anywhere from 10,000 to 18,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
They were spread out all over the Middle East. And I was there managing all the lawyers. And as the head judge, I was the head administrator. They voted me in that role 3 times. So I was going to commissioner's court, requesting money, presenting the budget, doing all these things. When we had bail reform, the governor was attacking me. I had to sue the governor because he was trying to take our power away. And so I've already been in the fight.
Yeah.
I've been punched in the face and got back up and said, no, I'm still here. Right. And so until you've experienced that pressure and all that on top of you, who knows what you're gonna do? You could get in there and be the best.
Yeah.
Like Shedeur Sanders. Everybody was talking mess about him. He got his chance and he's a superstar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
But you don't know until you get in the game.
So you get in the game.
And so it's like, do you take somebody who's been through the system, who you've seen stand up? When the lawyers came, when I got off the stand testifying in federal court, one of the lawyers was crying. And I was like, man, why are you crying? He said, Darrell, we filed these lawsuits all over the country. And you're the first judge who was ever willing to get on the stand and testify. And it goes back. So I don't just say stuff. It goes back to what I said earlier.
Yep.
It's not my business.
It's the people's business.
It's the people's business.
That's right.
Why would I be afraid to come up and tell the people's business? Now, if you ask me what's going on in my house, I'm gonna cut you off and say, but if it's the people's business, they had signs up in the courthouse. They came to me and they said, Judge, do you want a sign up in your courtroom that says no recording? I said, why? This ain't my business. So out of all the misdemeanor courts, I was the only court with no sign up that said no recording. If you want to come in there and record what I'm doing, this ain't my house. This is the people's house. This is the people's courtroom. So do what you like. But let me tell you about 4 ideas I have for the clerk's office. All right. And this is based on my experience as a lawyer, as a judge, and a person who's gone down there for jury service. So in 2025, when I get elected, it'll be 2026, there's no reason we shouldn't have a jury app. Okay. Right. So when you get your summons, it would have a 6-digit code or whatever kind of magic code in there. And then you download the jury app, you put that in. When you go to jury service, you have to sit down there in the jury assembly area, watch videos and do all kind of other stuff. People come talk to you. Why can't you do that on home? Why can't we just put the videos on the app? You sit there, watch the app, and then a green box, check. You move on to the next thing. Download, put your driver's license, state ID, or voter ID card on there. Scan that in, check. And then it says, are you available to serve on this day? You need to reschedule. You have an excuse. You can upload your excuse on the app. And then the day of service, you get a push message. That means it pops up on your phone. It says you are due in court 90 minutes from now.
Yeah.
And then just say, we don't need you. Then it says, thank you. You have served for today. Please stand by for the next notice that you will get. Right? Because what's happening now, People are waking up early in the morning. Some are required to be there later in the day. They drive in 30 minutes to downtown Houston. And then what are they told? Oh, we don't need you. Sir, I took off work all day. I had to get childcare for my little one, and I had to do this to do that. Or even worse, if you have an hourly job. Now the salary people are happy to have a day off. They just get to go sit in court and do nothing, do their service. But for those people who are hourly employees, are you showing them that you respect what they're doing? Did you respect their livelihood?
Nope.
Because for some people, missing a day off work means you can't pay your rent, let alone 3 or 4 days. And so we have to take that into consideration. And I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just telling you what it is. Right now, they're spending $250,000 trying to figure out how to diversify the jury pool. We already know how to diversify the jury pool. They need more money.
Yeah.
The consultants don't need the money. The jurors need more money. There could be a system where we look at, how much right now you get paid $30 on the first day and $58 every day after that. I remember when Commissioner Ellis got it up to, it was $8, and now it's going up a lot. But still, now the minimum wage in the county, anybody know what it is? $20. And so how can we offer our county employees $20 an hour, and then you want somebody, 4 times 8 is 32. You want somebody to come back and work for $8 an hour, right? And so that's why, and I don't fault anybody, because I understand. I wish everybody had the ability to serve, but people will come down for jury duty, it'd be a DWI, and then they would be like, anybody in here think drinking and driving is wrong? And then you get a lot of people who raise their hand. And they were like, well, understand, we mean if they were intoxicated. And then you get half the hands that go down. Then the rest of people had their hand up. They said, well, no, I believe if you just take a sip, you shouldn't drive. Okay, we all know if you take a sip of liquor, you're not drunk. But them people had to go to work.
Yeah.
Because when they said that, they automatically were disqualified from service, right? And so there was no judgment, but a lot of times those people would be who? They would be black and brown.
Yeah.
They would be young. And so that's why it's important. The best messengers you can have are all the people who report to jury service. Treat them the right way, show them you respect their time, and they'll go, man, I want to serve jury duty, and it wasn't that bad. Then that way, when they call somebody else, and somebody calls them and say, hey, I remember you had jury duty, how was it? Then they have something positive to say. Another thing, Harris County Jail, if I get arrested right now, I don't know what time it is, let's just say it's 9 a.m. I get arrested right now, and then he hurry up because he a good friend and come down there and bomb me out at 9:15. I'm not getting out for 24 to 30 more hours.
Wow.
I'm not getting out for 24 to 30. Now, again, if you've been working at the clerk's office all this time, you know these issues. Why isn't there a better system? Because it's the clerk's office who processes the paperwork and get why isn't the system automated? Why are we walking around with papers doing this and doing that? Because it should not, if my time is up, if I've served my 30 days, or if I've been bonded out, why do I have to stay another 24 hours? Now y'all done up my sentence. And that time could be reduced to 4 to 8 hours, 4 to 6 hours. We'll have to get in there and see how much we can reduce it. But think about all the money that saves the county.
Specifically, why would it take so long for a person to get out if they've already paid their money and done their time?
Because nobody cares. Why don't we have air conditioning in TDC?
That's a good answer, brother.
But they got air conditioning for the animals.
Yeah.
Y'all know that, right? The rodeo animals are in the AC, and the human beings are in concrete cages.
Wow.
With no AC. And so that's why it happened, because nobody cares.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
Nobody cares, because if somebody cared, again, that's that leak back in that corner that you walk by every day.
They know exists.
Every day.
Yeah.
But
it's been there for years.
But because you don't care,
yeah.
No, man, I know you're supposed to be out. I know you served 30 days, you did your 45 days, whatever it is, and you're supposed to be out today. But we got to out process. You're gonna take you another 12, 24, 30 hours.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's costing us money, right? We could have better parks, better schools, just like everybody should have a good lawyer when you go to court. Everybody should have good schools in their neighborhood.
That's right. That's right.
But we don't, because people don't care.
That's right.
Right? And the people in those neighborhoods with the bad schools don't have the time to go complain because they doing shift work 12 hours a day. They come home, they tired. Johnny done got in trouble at school.
Yes.
You know, he need help with homework. And then he want to be a football star.
Yeah.
You ain't got time to go down there and deal with that.
Yeah. You try to survive and keep it
Right.
together.
So those people who are elected
Yeah.
as your representative who say they care about you during election season, that's their burden.
Right.
That's their burden.
Because it should be.
Right, right. And the Bible says we should bear the burdens of each other. Right, right. And so that's why I just try to walk the walk. I just don't believe in talking the talk. Like if you ask me something, I with kids, I can show you receipts. Right.
Okay.
And so we got the jail issue, we got the jury issue. Another technical issue is lawyers or anybody who wants to file paperwork. There's certain parameters that have to be met. For instance, if you have a social security number in your document and you try to file it, it's going to ultimately get rejected, right? Because I can't file paperwork talking about you and have your social in there because anybody can get online, log into the system, and then they can see all your information. So that's one simple reason that stuff is rejected that everybody can understand. And so I use this app whenever I'm texting or writing anything called Grammarly. And it will correct my sentences.
Yeah.
It'll say, here's a suggestion.
Yeah.
And so something like that could be developed for the clerk's office. And so it would scan the document. You're the lawyer or you're the filer, and it scans the document and lets you know up front. Right now, what happens is the document goes in with errors and then gets to the clerk's office. Then a clerk has to review it.
Yep.
Then they send it back. And then half the time the lawyers don't know why it got sent back. Then they trying to figure it out. Then they send it back. Now it's been back and forth 3 times. How much money has been wasted? And AI is not new to anybody. You know, now most people think of AI and they think of ChatGPT or this app or that app. But when you are typing on your phone or whatever, that's AI correcting that.
Yeah.
Right? That's how basic it is. And right now over in China, they're using AI in elementary schools. But over here, we're slow to adapt to it. Right? Now, everything deserves to have a human reviewer. But if you had that on the front end, and then as the clerks review it, they could automatically get to it and see it. It's just faster and it's more efficient. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, it's that leak that's in the back corner that everybody knows about, but nobody wants to address it. And that's what I want to do. I want to do like I did when I became the head judge in the misdemeanor court. And in the first 6 months, ran around with chicken like my head cut off. Chicken with his head cut off, and get to work. I was when we got the Madison County Council's office, I would get off work and have to go drive to Austin. Then wasn't nobody paying me to drive to Austin. And y'all know the clerk's office has 3 cars.
Okay.
I'm like, well, where are we going?
Yeah.
Where are we going that my car can't go? That Uber can't go, that a plane can't go. To maintain 2 or 3 cars with drivers. But these are your tax dollars.
Yeah.
These are your tax dollars, and because nobody's looking, and as most people I have found out while I've been doing this, they don't understand what the clerk office does.
Right.
They sure
They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. And so the clerk's office is a glorified assistant.
Glorified assistant.
We're assisting the jurors, mailing it out, asking them to come in. We're assisting the judges and ensuring when they log on their computer, they have the paperwork. We're assisting the lawyers to make sure when they file the paperwork, it gets there. That's what it is. The clerk's office is not a sexy position, right? You probably never see me on the news talking about anything. Nobody cares about papers being filed.
Right.
Right? This is a go put your head down, get to work, and solve these problems. But you have to care. You truly have to care. And I talk a lot. That's a problem I have, personal problem. But I mean, if there's questions, I'm happy to answer them from anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I'm sure you are aware, Harris County has an absolutely awful reputation. Harris County Jail.
Right.
Awful reputation. I think they're ranked one of the worst jails in the country. Of course, the people not caring about how the system runs is a part of it, and even the judges, electing judges that care about people. What have you noticed that you want to make one of your top priorities with Harris County jail system? What have you noticed that is a major problem that you want to tackle and fix, that you feel like you can tackle and fix?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, all I can, again, at the clerk's, all I can do is file the paperwork faster.
Okay.
And so on the out processing, on the in processing, speed that process up. So there's less people sitting in jail that have to be there,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I can do.
Yes. So if the office stops at the paperwork, what can the people do to, and I know that might be a heavy one, but what can the people do to better a system that's obviously broken, that's affecting the lives of hundreds of thousands, if not millions? And I know that's a heavy one.
No, that ain't no heavy question. I worked in the system.
Okay.
I worked in if there's a 21-year-old kid who misses his court date was on Monday. He's a 21-year-old kid. He shows up on Tuesday and say, Judge, I missed my court date. What judges do now is they put them in handcuffs and put them in the Harris County jail.
You mean just like that?
Just like that. Because you missed your court date.
Okay.
Even though you showed up the next day. So we need, let me explain how judges work. If I'm a judge and I want to go play golf today and I have a full docket, you know what I do? I can go play golf.
Okay.
Who gonna play?
Yeah.
What that lady say on Real House? Who gonna check me, boo? Right?
Yeah.
And so if the judges can be late, if the judges can decide to take a day off work, don't get clearance. We don't get clearance from nobody. Okay. Well, I'm not judging, but when you're a judge, you are the judge. They say, what do they say when the judge comes to work late? All rise.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so if you get the luxury of staying home with your sick child, going to play golf, taking a 2-week vacation, or doing whatever you want to do, how can we have the gall to lock up somebody who missed their court date and then came the next day? And so that's what's happening. There's a lot of people who are in the Harris County jail, not because they're a danger to the community, because the judge wanted them there.
So does that mean that the community has to take a better look at the people that are the judges?
Yeah.
Take a better look at the people who actually run in the system.
Yeah, and it's easy to do. It's not a questionnaire. It's not interviewing them. It's just going in there like a regular person. Don't everybody wear the same shirt. And just sitting there and watch.
And observe.
Sitting there and watch. Yeah. Sitting there and watch. I used to have people in court who wanted to fight me. The kid came in there. I said, only condition I want for you on probation is to get a GED.
Okay.
And he said, my dad told me I didn't have to get a GED. I said, well, I'm your daddy now. The only condition of your probation is get a GED.
Yeah.
And he was so upset and enraged. So then he wouldn't take the class. So we got this program called Young Men About Change up in Atascocita. Yeah. I said, if you don't get enrolled in the class, I'm gonna put you on YMAC. So then he went to YMAC, and that boy.
And what is YMAC? Young
Men About Change. Just going through the probation department.
Gotcha.
And so they called me from YMAC. They said, Judge, he is crying every single day. And this was like 3 days that passed. I said, bring him back to court. And he said, Judge, I'm ready to get my GED. This boy went, got his GED. And when he came back to court, he gave me the best news and the other news. I just had to pray for him. He said, Judge, I did good in all my classes. I got my GED and I got a child on the way. I was like, hey, man, congratulations.
Not top of college.
Congratulations. Nah, I'm praying for you, young brother.
That's right.
You know, but you know, when we look at in Baltimore right now, they have reduced crime tremendously. And they've done it through support programs. Right? And people who think more police officers stops crime is, well, do more firefighters stop fires?
No, sir.
You know, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But if you do like Smokey the Bear and put the fire out, that's how you do it. It's the prevention piece.
Right.
But and so That's what we have to get to. And so some people may be watching, they be like, oh, will you let him get the GED as his only? And I bet he's living his life. He has a better job. He's maybe able to support his family now. We have to address those root cause issues.
Mhm.
That's what we have to do to make our system better. But go sit in jail, go sit in the court and watch and see how people treat people who are accused of crimes.
Right.
Go to the Harris County Courthouse and attempt to walk in and see how the sheriffs or the precinct one people, whoever is precinct one, how they treat you when you walk in.
Mhm.
Sometimes you don't know if you're a lawyer, if you a 3-time convicted murderer walking through there.
Right.
The way people talk to you, but why do they do that?
Mhm.
Why do they? Because they can.
Because they can and they don't care.
Yeah.
And
They
it's-
can.
and nobody's checking.
And nobody cares. It's just nobody cares. When it
But is that a judge issue or a district clerk issue or something else issue? Who can affect that?
the people who we elect.
The people.
People, it goes back to the people.
that-
Yeah,
It-
it goes back to the people. Yes, ma'am.
It goes. Everything down there is elected position.
Yeah.
Everything. There used to be times where there was a line down the street to get in the criminal courthouse, and it's cold and raining.
Yeah.
Civil courthouse, everybody don't walk in. That's where the money is.
Mm.
That's where the money is. But at the criminal courthouse, people ask me, "Do you know this lawyer? He work at this firm." I said, "Man, I'm a criminal lawyer. I work in the slums.
Yeah.
Right? I'm with the people.
Right.
Right? I don't know those big firm lawyers. And you get treated like you're also a criminal.
Right.
And so it's a system where we have to have people who are not only qualified with their studies or whatever the degrees,
Mhm.
qualified in their life experience, but also people who care,
Right.
right? Because it doesn't take a special person to do anything. It just takes a person who cares.
Care. Okay.
And if you care, you will be more likely to address issues and fix things.
Okay. So one of my questions, which I think you've answered,
Mhm.
I'm going to ask it and then give you the answer that I think you already gave.
Uh-huh.
If I'm wrong. The question was, what do you see as the greatest needs of the office?
Mhm.
I'm assuming that per your 3 ideas,
Mhm.
I'm assuming that what you see as one of, or if not the greatest need, is the usage of automation, apps, and technology to make the system run smoother. Would that be the correct answer to that
Right,
question?
right. And I'll expound on that. Right now, there's a filing system and it runs through the state. And first it goes through an individual provider. So all of you could be individual providers because I need to get something to the courthouse. So I get my choice of who I use to get my papers to the courthouse. Then once you do that initial filing, it goes up to the state and then back down to Harris County. And Harris County's system is failing sometimes, right? It's a Harris County issue. A lot of the times it's the state, but a lot of times it's the county. And so we need to go in and look at the infrastructure that Harris County Clerk's Office is using and saying, how can we speed up everything that's going on,
Mhm.
right? And so think of servers as like cars and switches as stoplights, right? So if you keep buying servers and putting more cars on the streets, but you don't have enough switches, which are the traffic lights, then what's gonna happen? It's gonna be a traffic jam
Accidents.
because it can't manage that traffic.
Right.
And so there, Harris County, we have more filings than any other county in the state of Texas. And so when the office is not staffed right as with hardware,
Mhm.
then that system crashes.
That's right.
It's a backlog.
Guaranteed.
And so this should not have been a problem year after year after year after year after year. Yes, ma'am.
Question, with the new automated system that you want to put in Harris County, the people who are not keeping the court dates, and I've heard people say this, well, I was late. I don't have an automobile. I got to depend on that.
Yeah.
Would the judge consider that? I think not.
Probably not.
And that's because if look, I grew up, sometimes I lived in homeless shelter, sometimes I was in child abuse shelter, other times my sister was 8 years younger than me, and we used to walk through the aisle looking for the red sign that said WIC, and then we raced to go get the cereal that we can get. Back then it was Kabooms. That was like Lucky Charms.
Yes, sir.
And so when you've been in those situations, it's like, I'm a church going person, And I'm like, you know, when I was going through my life, and I didn't know why I was going through all that stuff, but I was like, why did I look back now? I see why put me on that path. Because one day I would be on the bench, we would be sued, and they would say, Judge, are you willing to come testify about what's going on? Right? And because my life experience, I always boiled everything back down to, well, are they gonna beat me up? You know, because when you open the hood, you gotta have your hands right, right? And so I wasn't threatened. I was like, yeah, I'll go do it, right? And so it's like David and Goliath. David had trained and protected the animals from sheep, lions, and all kind of stuff. But people normally just talk about the last story.
Right.
They don't talk about how he was built up and how he was trained.
How he became David.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what we have to do. We have to go in and like truly care. Right. But if your life experience is different, you only know about the good parts of Houston and everything else, you're like, well, I don't understand why. Like, people are like, why didn't he just dress for court? That man don't have enough money for the clothes he got on.
There you go.
And you worried about why he dressed up for court. Meanwhile, you got your robe on with a shirt and some shorts on, but nobody know. You know, and so it's.
But there, how do you draw the line between what you just stated, the realities of being poor? How do you draw the line between that, which is real, and somebody just being irresponsible and immature and childish?
Neither one of them is acceptable.
Yeah.
If you sitting in jail for either one of them reasons, because the judge was one of those that you just named, which one are you gonna give them the pass on? Neither one.
Right.
Neither one. So that's why it's incumbent upon us as the people of Harris County, to make sure if it's a new person, then all we can do is ask them questions and ask about their past and what their plans are. But it's somebody we're constantly re-electing. Go in there and see.
That's right.
Go in there and see. If you see a person who murdered somebody from Acres home and then they get a $50,000 bond, but then you see somebody break in the house of a rapper and they get a $3 million bond, like a famous rapper that everybody know in the city, that run this burger spot that's always people talking about.
Say what?
Now, when somebody broke, when somebody break in a house like that, and your bond is $2 million,
right?
But the kid in Acres home who got killed, the bond was $50,000. What are you saying?
Right. Right.
What are you saying? And these people are now running for office again.
Yeah.
How do you justify that? Does my kid not mean more than a person's property?
Is there a public record, a public report card, if you will, of how judges judge, so to speak? Because if not, so there would be or should be one.
I want to get a list of the judges.
Is that kind of thing exists?
Oh, that's on the internet. It's on the internet. The sheriff has a dashboard where you can get on right now, real time, and see how many people are in the Harris County Jail that identify with mental health issues, how many people are in there with felonies, this, that, how many people are there for misdemeanors. It's there.
What's the URL of that website?
Just go to sheriff's office.
Okay.
Yeah, just Google, look.
Harris County Sheriff?
Harris County Sheriff.
Okay.
And put dashboard.
I tried to find one with the public offenders. And because we couldn't get into the public defender office.
Okay.
We couldn't get the public defender name.
How long ago was that?
It's been 8 years ago.
Okay, well now it's a new day. The public defender is Genesis Draper. Black female.
Yes.
Genesis Draper. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about none of that now. I'm sure you probably can call and get her on the phone.
Okay.
So yeah. We served on the bench together. She's very good.
Okay.
Very good.
What's the relationship between the Harris County District Clerk's office and the DA's office? What's the relationship between the two, if there is one? I don't know.
Well, again, remember, I'm the lifeblood.
Okay.
Right? That's just like right now we had the barbecue spot. If somebody didn't prep the meat last night, didn't get the wood and do all that, then this restaurant couldn't operate.
Oh.
That's my job.
Okay.
As the district clerk. To make sure the meat was prepped, make sure the grill ready to go, the wood in there, whatever, however they cooking. That's what I mean when I say the lifeblood.
Yeah.
The lifeblood of the justice system. Okay. We keep the records, the custodian of all the records and proceedings of what went on.
So is it safe to say that the clerk's office preps and the DA's office cooks and or prosecutes? Is that a good way to say it?
They work the front counter.
Okay.
They work the front counter, right? But we provide all the documents.
Gotcha.
And so that's why if the clerk's office went down, none of the systems would work. You couldn't go get no child support. You couldn't sue nobody. because they hit you on the street. You couldn't do any criminal work because nobody has records.
So the clerk's office is the grease that makes the machine run.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. Go back to my original.
No grease, no gears.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing running.
That lifeblood.
Okay.
You know, wherever the blood cut off in the body, you lose it.
Right.
You know, in the Army, they teach us, hey, if the person's severely injured, put a tourniquet on.
Triage.
Yeah, but you try to raise it, you put it as low as possible,
Right.
because you're gonna have to cut
That's right.
below that.
Right.
Right. So if the clerk's office is down, it shuts down the entire body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I asked that question between the two because we've been working, my organization and an alliance I've started. We've been working on an issue with HISD. All the evidence points to a cover up of a sexual predator.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, we finally found a reporter that was willing to write an article about the issue, and it turns out that there was evidence to prosecute the predator, but the DA's office was never given that evidence. So once you win, what can you do in that role as a person who's over the clerk's office to help us not only get the evidence to the DA, but to ensure that justice is being served, because the predator is still out there doing whatever he's doing?
Okay, and so let me explain when I say the life's blood.
All right.
It's almost like when we were back in college and we used to go get plasma.
Okay.
You got to give me the blood, and I just process it.
Okay.
Right. So when I say a glorified assistant or glorified assistant, I just take, she come in with papers.
Yeah.
I take the papers.
Okay.
Enter them into the system, and then you go to work as the judge and you pull them up. Or the DA's office gets evidence, gets reports.
Okay.
They bring them to me.
Okay.
I scan them in the system.
Right.
Now, when the lawyer wants to log in and view the police report, they can, because it's been uploaded to the clerk's office.
And of course, you can't do anything if the information's not in the system.
No. Even if I have the information, all I did was process it's a paper process.
Right. Okay.
That's it. So I don't have any decision making authority over this or that. Only thing I can do is support the system.
Right.
Make sure the system is running.
Got it.
I mean, if there's a hurricane coming, making sure we have the uninterrupted power source and the backup generator. So when the power goes down, we don't lose access to the cloud, and we're not able, no one's able to get the documents. So it's really a support role.
Yeah.
It's a support role.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'll never be a soldier on the front line.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always be on, behind the line, making sure everybody has the support they need.
Right. And the importance of that is that, having been in the military, as you know, and most people, when they think about the military, they only think about the soldier on the battlefield.
Right.
Nobody thinks about the support. S4, S3, S1, S2. Nobody thinks about it.
Right.
And without that support, you ain't got no soldier.
That's right. Right. If you don't have supply, people can't get beans and bullets.
They can't eat.
And you sit back there eating the hot food, and then they out there struggling.
That's right.
In the
Yes,
trenches.
I just wanted to mention that, so I work, during the day as a contract paralegal for, different lawyers. And we had one criminal lawyer, and she was always missing court, but it was because we wasn't getting the information fast enough from the county clerk to put it in her system so she could show up. Like, some of the dates it'd be one day in between from when they posted the case from when the lawyer needs to be there. So just think, after just thinking of your lawyer not showing up just because we didn't get the information to her in time. And I mean, she's just going off like, well, I didn't, y'all didn't send me the information in time. But that was all us dealing with the county clerks. We got all that information from the county clerks. But however fast they got that information on there, he had to move even faster to get it off there, to get it to the lawyer to even show up for our clients. And when you think about it, these people's lives is on the line based on how fast that information gets online, how fast we get to the lawyer and put in their.
And how long ago was that?
This summer.
Well, hopefully that was the district clerk. I mean, our county clerk is Tanisha Hudspeth, and she handles all of our elections and all the misdemeanor stuff. And
it was district clerk.
Yeah. Tanisha, she does. So it's crazy because her office and the district clerk's office are completely separate, right? And so, but yeah, that's
what are those offices? District clerk and
county clerk.
county clerk.
Yeah. So county clerk is when we have elections, they go out and do all that stuff.
Right.
And then they handle the county courts.
Uh-huh.
So they would handle the misdemeanor courts and all that.
Okay.
The district clerks handles the felonies,
Oh.
the lawsuits over like 2 or 3 million, the higher amount lawsuits.
Okay.
You know, all that stuff. So yeah,
Got
that's
it.
that's the difference.
Okay. Before I ask my last 2 questions, anybody else have a question? Brother there, everybody good? Okay, brother. The last 2 should be pretty easy for you. The first one is, how can somebody support you and join your team?
You can always go to DarrellJordanJr.com, and that is Darrell with 2 R's and 2 L's and JORDAN Jr. And you can read about the campaign. You can hear about things that we're doing. And it's really just spreading the word. I mean, we see how many questions have come out today about what the district clerk's office does.
Yep. Yes,
And so just an understanding of what the district clerk's office does is very important. And then also, when you're doing your analysis, just think about it like this. If you were going in for surgery this morning and they were going to keep you awake during the surgery, and then I showed up and I said, I'm here to assist with the surgery. And then the surgeon says, hey, Darrell, give me the scalpel. And I say, well, I don't know what that is. And then they said, well, Darrell, did you get 4 quarts of whole blood? And I was like, well, he already has blood. Why does he need blood? Do you want to go forward with the surgery?
Probably not. Not with you. Yeah. Not with you in the room.
Not with me serving as the lifeblood.
Right.
And so when there's 8 people total running for district clerk.
Okay.
8 people running for district clerk with various backgrounds.
Yeah.
Various backgrounds. We have some people from the medical profession, a school teacher, some people who work at the clerk's office right now. Think about qualifications.
Right.
And think, now that you all know how important the system is, think about that.
Right.
When you think about how the governor he always messing with somebody. Think about people who've already been under pressure, who are battle tested, who you've seen under pressure, because all that matters. Because I know if I'm sitting in there, I'm trying to get up. I don't care if they already got me cut up, and I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah. Let me go back to the lobby.
Yeah.
Let me go back to the lobby. Y'all get somebody here who know what they're doing. Anyway.
Okay. I'm sorry. Let's cut partner.
What makes someone in the medical field and the teachers think they're qualified to do this job? Stay in your own lane.
Right. And this is it just goes back to what people think of different elected offices. And here, to be a district clerk, the qualifications are 18 and live in Harris County. There's 600 employees and the budget is $50 million for that office. And if you're 18 and live in Harris County, and you can pay that fee or get those signatures.
So I could run for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I already know what some people online y'all may be thinking, but in some of these small counties, like it's hard for them to get a DA. It's hard for somebody because they may not have a lawyer in the county.
Right.
And so I'm imagining that's why, but just how they bracket certain legislation in counties with a certain population, it should be higher requirements. Right? We have 4 or 5 million people here. It's not a problem of who's qualified, finding qualified people.
Right.
And that we have to just lower the standard just for 18 and live here, right? Because again, let's just say, we see it on the news all the time. The youngest person ever elected mayor, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, say youngest person ever gets elected here for a 20-year-old. And then our system goes down.
Yep.
And you waiting on child support. Or you waiting on Johnny to get out of jail.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And so it's very important. Just like in the Army, they say the NCOs are the backbone of the Army.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
But you got all the officers out there, but you know who the people who are truly in there.
Because they are.
Doing the work.
Yes, sir. This wasn't my last question. It just kind of popped in my head. As we've had several people running for office come through Thursday morning breakfast, I've learned that a big part of whatever these people want to do, the community, they just don't know things. So I know that you say that your job, keep your head down, do the paperwork and keep it moving. But is there or can there be some sort of outreach effort from your office to better educate the community on what's what so that we know what's what and we can
Absolutely.
be more involved, of course.
Absolutely. There will be a robust community outreach because
Robust.
because
Okay.
we need community. We need people to come down and support the
Big
office.
time. Yes,
We
sir.
need jurors.
Yeah.
We need people because
Yeah.
right now 1 in 4 are showing up. Less than 1 in 4. It's like at 20%.
Yeah.
And so if we don't educate the people, why would we ever expect that number to go up?
That's right.
If we're not at the community events, I mean, we have 600 employees,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
there's enough employees to be at these events.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
If you care to have
if you care.
That's right.
But if you want to just keep doing what you've been doing,
That is cool. Right.
yeah, just mind your business.
Show up for what?
Look, people talk about pay equality and all this other kind of stuff. People if women and men would make the same amount, black, white, brown, whatever would make the same amount if the people who were in the room cared.
Care, right.
But because I call it the me and minds, and I know I put the S on there, because me and minds are good,
Yeah.
why am I worried about you?
Right.
Why I care about how much money women make?
Yeah.
So it goes back to just caring. That's it.
And that's probably the perfect answer to my last question. Go ahead, Ms. Ruth.
And I know you're talking right because if you don't get the people in the neighborhoods to tell the people about this thing, you won't have.
That's it.
Because the majority of the people don't know anything about the code.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
You're
it.
right. And that's why I asked
The
Ms.
favorite
Ruth. Yep.
question is, oh, they're gonna do what they wanna do anyway.
Right.
Right.
So if they don't understand, that's what they're gonna say. Well, it's gonna go run away I think, because majority of the people that we talk to in here have said, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I just really don't have time to get out, do this one meet. But you gotta make more than one meet
Right.
when you talking to different people, because the majority, like I said, they don't know.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't know till today.
Mhm.
So count this and how many people in Acres Home, Fifth
Right.
Ward, Third Ward, how many people, little people,
Mhm.
don't know
Right.
what this job is capable.
Right.
They want to show up for jury duty because of the fact that, oh, I'm sitting there all day, I don't want to sit there all day, did it.
Yeah.
Right.
All day I sit there, then at the end of the time, they talk about, well, we finished. So you said it, all right,
Yeah.
I mean, people don't want to sit there all day, and right then, we sit there for 5 hours.
Right. Right.
So I mean, people still got the 5 hour thing in their mind, they don't know that it's been raised,
Yeah.
and why they don't know, because it hasn't been told.
That's
That's right.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
if you don't know, you don't know,
That's
and
it.
they ain't interested in you knowing it.
Yeah, and that's the struggle now is like, how do you reach people? Because I mean, I've been like 4 events this week, and it's Thursday.
Yeah. And got one today.
And got one today, then tomorrow I gotta go to the heritage thing at the rodeo, and then I got 2 things on Saturday. But this is what I signed up for.
Right.
I try to reach people on social media. I posted one video and I boosted it and it reached 50,000 people. I mean, so if we went outside and tried to lift up a car, if it was just me and him, we probably couldn't do it.
Probably not.
But if we got everybody out this restaurant and say, hey, we just trying to flip the car, but we all put our effort together, we could do it.
Yeah.
And so that's it. Now that you've learned just a little bit, go tell 2 or 3 more people.
That's right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We all just do our part. That's all we can do.
Right.
But if you stand up here and you saying you want to be an elected official, you shouldn't be like, oh, it's just me. Tell me what you can do.
Right.
Tell me what you can do. Can I come in your neighborhood and knock on doors with you? Or you want to come to my neighborhood and knock on doors? Or you give me your address? I'll drop off some flyers for you to pass out. My commanders told me at my first duty assignment, as a lawyer, when you're giving advice, don't tell the person you're giving advice to no. Tell them how to properly do what they want to do. And I've carried that on with me throughout my entire life. So that's what I try to do. I wouldn't allow my kids to say I can't. I said, no, don't say you can't, say you don't know how. And then let's try to figure it out. Right? So that's it.
Amen. And my last question was, you said this several times already, but I got to ask this for the record. Why should people vote for you?
Because I have a track record.
Yeah.
I'm qualified. And I'm ready to work on day one. It don't matter if I'm at the lowest level in the office or the highest level at the office. I'm gonna be there dedicated, to make change.
All right. Amen. Thank you for coming, brother. We appreciate it. I really do. And lastly, I want to tell you about a few things that we have going on, but I want to make sure that I give you the opportunity first. Any events that you have upcoming that you want people to know about, just in case they want to
Yeah.
show up for you?
Well, tonight I'm having a small fundraiser. It's very small. We already ordered meat, so I can't really invite more people because, you know, people be mad. I done showed up over here. But really just, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on the webpage. Just stay dialed in. We'll have a newsletter going out today. This newsletter will focus on the importance of having somebody with a legal background in this role, right? It's a difference. If you work at a shop that fixes cars and you've been fixing the brakes the whole time, that's your job, your specialty is doing brakes. You don't know about the engine. You don't know about the electronic systems
right.
in the car.
Yep.
And so you need somebody with a diverse experience in leadership and with the right background. You need them in that role. And that's what our newsletters today will be talking about. Why it's important to have somebody with a legal background versus a nurse practitioner. Okay, I'm just saying.
All right. Amen. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. So before I give my two quick updates, does anybody have anything they want to share as far as things that you guys might have going on, events, people, blah, blah, blah? Anybody, nobody? Cool. All right. So let me share these two things real quick. Go back to my computer screen. So as you guys should know, at this point, we have a digital magazine that we've started called Grow for Care Digital. And we started the magazine because there is so much happening. There's so much happening in the city, around the country, as it relates to grassroots people, that we're trying to keep our people informed and connected and in the loop. Grow for Care Digital comes out every Tuesday. It comes out on Tuesday because I want to promote what's happening on Thursday. And anyone that speaks here is on the cover of the next issue. This is our speaker from last week, the Charlene. And next week will be Brother Darrell. The whole point of the magazine is that America is changing. And those changes are happening very, very, very fast. And none of them are pro-Black. None of them are pro-brown. None of them are pro-poor. None of them are pro-grassroots. The grassroots outnumbers everybody else. So like Brother Darrell said several times, if the people were more organized, and as Ms. Ruth said, if the people were more organized, then what we need and what we want, we could get, because we will know how to make the system work for us. And the whole point of the magazine is to make sure that our people know how the system works so that we can put them in a position to win. So if you're interested in being plugged in, you can go to our website, grow4care.org, GROW4CRE.org, and subscribe to the magazine. It's free. Comes out every week. And at this point, we are pushing 95 pages because there's a lot in there. And lastly, I am very, very, very excited that we've just launched Grow for Care Farms. Grow for Care Farms is a collaboration of everything that we're doing in the community to bring together local growers, local producers of fresh fruits, vegetables, holistic drinks, and things of that sort. Because the food that a lot of our people eat, a lot of grassroots people eat, is not good for us. It's not good for our children. So we want to put ourselves in a position by which we can pick up and deliver fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, holistic drinks to the community that our people are making, our people are growing. But again, there's no bridge in between the middle. So Grow for Care Farms, and FARMS is an acronym that stands for Fresh Agricultural Resources Management System, because we want to manage the fresh agricultural resources that we already have. Black people have been growing food in this country forever. Hell, we were brought here for one of those reasons, to grow food, because we're already good at it. But we don't control the system by which we feed ourselves. And we started Grow for Care Farms because we want to make sure that anybody that's growing, that wants to generate a profit from what they grow, we can be the bridge to not only pick up what they're growing, but deliver it to those that want to purchase fresh things that are grown within 24 hours. So that's what we do. We really try to make sure that our community is in a position to continue to move forward. There's a lot happening. There's a lot going on. The revenue that's taken out of our communities, which is a lot, we can capture some of that, but we will never be able to capture it if we're not organized. And that's what we try to do. So on that note, as always, thank you guys for being here. We will see you next Thursday. Y'all take care. God bless.